I'm Amber Toro. My day job is a data scientist, but like you said, I just released my first novel 2 months ago, and that is Umbra. And the way I got into writing, I actually always loved writing and telling stories since I was a little kid. Um, and I always wanted to write a book, but then, you get older and you have kids and life is really busy. And I took a break from reading and writing and all of it for a while. And a few years ago, I got back into reading, and then 2 years ago, my dad passed away suddenly, and it got me thinking, what would I regret not having done if I were to go right now? And so that's when I decided to. I had this idea for Umbra. That's when I decided to make the time to write it.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. That's really cool. I think that's a great thing to think about. Like, what would you regret not doing? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? So it's a sci-fi book. Is there? Have you always been a sci-fi fan? Are you more of a fantasy fan? Like, how did you kind of land on the sci-fi stuff?
Yeah, I've always been a sci-fi fan. I think like most sci-fi fans, I like fantasy also, but I was
Hmm.
very much a Star Wars kid. My parents also watched Star Trek, so I mean, I grew up with both, and I always just liked the kind of fantastical element of what could be, right? What is a possible future? For me, it's a
Hmm.
lot like fantasy, but you can kind of ground it in what could actually happen, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the idea of what's out there, what could like Star Wars and Star Trek are a great example of like just two different ways it could go.
Yeah, and that's what I did with Umbra as well. It's supposed to be about 10,000 years in the future, and it is based on this concept of what if we did develop sentient AI, and if that AI was then developed to be individuals that were bonded with human hosts and lived their lifespan with a human host. And so that was kind of the concept that I started with. And so it is very much based on a possible, far future reality.